the marketing was really the key, because so many people came to me like, bro, how are you marketing all these, but they not.
Well, how were you marketing those businesses? What were you doing? All right, we're here today with Runway, who brought through what I can only describe as the Wimbledon/US Open edition 2022 Lamborghini Urus S. From now on, we're just gonna call this Coco in honor of Coco Golf, who just killed the US Open. But I mean, this thing is ridiculous, man. We've seen Lamborghini Urus S's before, and they are all beautiful. However, this is an absolute one-of-one custom job. So without further ado, I'm gonna turn it over to its fabulous owner out here killing the game.
Hey,
Runway, take it away.
Look, we right here, you know what I mean, with the Lambo, you know what I mean, the Urus, and you know what I mean, we got you see what we got going on. We got the tennis ball green, that's why he call it Coco for the US Open. Me, I call it the Grinch, because we got the green.
I like that.
And then we got the red, the plate. Y'all see we got the Lamborghini in the back. We got definitely the ghost plate. We'll show y'all that in a second. Hey man, you wanna give them a tour of this thing or what?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Let's get it. So, well, how were you marketing those businesses? What were you doing?
Facebook, Instagram, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was utilizing social media to its full potential.
Okay.
Like, so while everybody was, you know, scared to post, scared to do this, I was on there understanding the platform and understanding the benefits. And then most of the people that was coming to me, whether it was in town or out of town, was coming from Facebook. Like, I maxed out on Facebook when you could only have 5,000 friends. I had like 3 pages with like 5,000 friends. So I was utilizing posting on all of those pages.
Posting what?
Content. Like, I was posting my tattoos. Yo, I'm booked. Yo, I got books
showing
open
them
today.
doing this, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom, boom.
so I was just documenting my process and just showing my work on there. One of my friends told me about Instagram. I was like, nah, I ain't getting on no platform, bro. I already got 3 Facebook pages.
Right.
Probably one of the best things that I ever did. He's like, no, all the celebrities is on there. I was like, I don't care about that. And once I saw it was a platform for photos, I was like, dang, this is perfect, because there's nothing else but photos. So I got nothing else but to post my work. And literally, man, I just understood the platform. A lot of people was telling me like, man, you need a marketing agency. I was like, nah, I don't need no agency. And I was just kind of downplaying the whole time. So 2018, I was also working on my personal development, because I know, like, okay, cool, I know how to do this business, right? And yes, I can open up these other businesses, but I need new information, right? Like, if I'm at a peak where I feel like I'm capped out on my knowledge and I'm stuck, it's because I don't got access to information that could take me to the next level.
Okay.
So I started going to masterminds. I had paid like $10,000 to go to this mastermind. First day that I got there, it was no game. I'm like, man, I know all this stuff, right? Second day I'm there, I'm like, man, I know this stuff too. So I felt like I'm 2 days there, I'm 10 grand, and I'm like, man, I just threw this money out the door. And I'm on the phone with my girl, and I'm like, man, like, I just think like I just lost 10 grand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was so hungry for the information. I felt like, yo, I gotta go to the next level. I was like, man, I'm about to just book me a flight and I'm gonna just come home tomorrow. I ain't even gonna finish the last day.
Okay.
She like, no, it's just like, you know what I mean? You already there, just finishing out. Best decision that I ever made, because the speaker that they had that Sunday, first there, and again, like, I'm still staying optimistic the whole time. I'm like, shoot, it's 10 grand, ain't like I could get it back. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, I need to hurry up, get back to the chair. You know what I'm saying?
I need to make that back.
Yeah. So that morning, speaker go on, and man, he started talking, and it's like fireworks. Everything poof, 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 is busting off. And then I get the idea. I'm like, okay, I already knew this stuff that they talked about yesterday. These dudes not smarter than me, but they talking about how they made $10,000, $20,000 today. It's not them, it's me. They not the problem, I'm the problem, right? And when he talked that day, he gave that information. I got a piece of information literally when I went back that Monday, because I'm an executor. I made my $10,000 in 2-3 days.
By doing what? Oh, you can't share that. They got
So basically he broke.
I told you we get deep here, but listen.
No.
I will say this, all right?
Yeah.
If I ask you something, and it's like, hey, listen, man, I can't share that.
No.
Just let me know. It's cool.
So he basically broke down a Facebook strategy.
Okay.
Where it basically was just a partnership model.
All right.
And I was a person being as though where I come from, I never asked for help. I never asked people, could I help them? But I'll just like, hey, like if we in a moment, hey, you need help? Like I'll help you move the chair, I'll help you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a helpful person. I never understood that I could monetize my genius in the light that he put it. And what happened was I had contacts in my phone with people who were already doing these things, and I was in a position to the knowledge that I knew on the days before that I could help them with that. So I made phone calls. So when I got back, I said, hey, bro, like you need help with the webinar that you're doing every week? Oh, yeah, yes, I do. All right, cool, this, that, and the third. Like, you know what I mean? You know, not to be in your business, how much you making? Oh, I'm doing about $10,000 a week. I'm like, $10,000 a week? All right, so if I can help you do 20, like if I can help you get to 20, like is it an opportunity where, you know what I'm saying, I could get a cut? Like, if you don't make more, you don't pay. And I called up 3 of my friends, and like in a matter of a couple of days, I made like 10, 12,000. Like just that fast.
And you never look back.
I was just like, oh, it's game over. It was the same thing that I looked at when I went and I counted that money in there and I made $380. And I was like, man, if I could figure this out now. I didn't go cold turkey and just quit, stop doing tattoos. I did what I think every person should do when they have a job or they got something else going on and they want to transition. I made a transition. I took 2 days off, I upped my prices, and I kept the other 4 days on or 3 days on.
Gotcha.
So I took that the same way that I took that $380 that I made. And like, again, the same way the guy was telling me, yo, you should do tattoos, it was the same about, yo, you should start a marketing agency. Like, you should do this. So the thing about that, though, is when I talk about the transition, right, like, I just upped my price. I took 2 days off, but I laser focused on what I had to work on those 2 days. I ain't take those days off as days off. They was days on. They was days on what I was working on. And I really was just attempting to find what was going to be my zone of genius and how I was going to create what essentially now is the marketing agency. It didn't go right to the marketing agency because I was like, man, I don't have a product. I was like, I got a service. And I was like, I don't know how long I could keep this service going on. I don't know if this is a service that can scale, but I was like.
And the service was helping these people who had something going already, but helping them grow it to a different place.
And then it was like, depending on other people's performance. So I was like, man, I gotta find a product. And, a lot of people around me like, man, you need your own product. Because you gotta think, like, I'm helping people go from $12,000 a week to $20,000, $30,000 a week by helping them like build the proper back-end infrastructure. And
with the social media marketing side.
Exactly. So I'm like, dang, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if I had a product,
you could keep all that money.
You know what I'm saying? Just be 100% profitable. So it just took me a little while to like develop, that product. So not funny story. What happened was we opened up the Lash Studio and we was doing these classes there. Cause like every business that I got into, I was like, I want to have a talent in the business that I could get paid off of just in case these people say, Runway, I quit. So it's like, all right, what's going to be my talent in the hair business? I'm just going to sell a hair. I'm going to sell bundles of hair, make my money off of there.
Got it.
Right? Like in the Lash Studio, okay, we're going to put classes and curriculums together where girls could come and they could get certifications. So like I always had this structure and we was doing those classes. We was doing like $12,000, $15,000 per class and we was doing one every single month.
Wow.
And we was like essentially breaking it down. So when girls started to ask us, hey, can you come to Cali? Can you come to Atlanta? Can you come to DMV? I was like, how about we just make it a digital? Same thing that I'm helping these people sell. I'm helping them sell a course at the end of the webinar. Why don't we just do a webinar and we just sell a course for it at the end? So my girl was like, babe, that's not gonna work. Like they cannot learn this from a course. And I said, why can't they? And she like was not feeling it.
She ain't see it.
She did not see it.
Okay.
So she got pregnant. So now we moving into like 2020 right now. I'm having some issues, just to be transparent, I'm having some issues in the business where like the morale and the guys at my shop, guys is like, I ain't gonna say necessarily stealing, but they doing tattoos on the side, stealing.
And they're not paying.
You know what I'm saying?
They're not breaking the, yeah, okay, so
they're
they're taking outside clients and not giving the shop to cut.
Yeah,
you know,
like it's just all like
things.
little, sneaky things going on with the salon. Like, things was just getting catty. You know what I mean? Conversations was being had amongst the artists at the shop. Like, yeah, only reason why he able to, have this type of lifestyle was to do this.
Never mind that it's your business. The whole point of being in business is so that you can work your way out of having to be in the shop or in the business.
Who put this together? Me.
Right.
That's like that type of thing. And again, man, it's a weird space because I never wanna come off as, oh yeah, I'm your boss. I put you in this position. But also, it's just like, where's the level of respect that I opened the door for you, I paved the way for you, and gave you the opportunity to do it. But then I had to like remind myself, I had to gather myself that like my whole intention was to grow. And it just let me know that I have outgrown that, like to where as though the people around me can't even see it. Like y'all so naive to the game that y'all can get, like I'm giving in this interview. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't even see it. Like I'm coming back and I'm giving game. I'm giving like, yo, look, I took this credit card, this how I opened up next door. Like I need all y'all to be on some credit stuff. Oh yeah, I took a private jet for the first time. Like, look, next time we all gonna be on it. And it's just like, they can't see it as inspiration. They see it as hate. And the only thing that they can blame is, okay, he's taking our dollars and doing that, not even realizing I make more than all of them in one day. Like, you gotta think about my income that I'm making opposed to the income that I'm netting off of the shop.
Right.
It's like this.
Because the marketing side started to dwarf basically what was going on there.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like they started to see less and less of me, and I started to try to put some of the stuff on their plate, like even with clientele and all of that stuff. But it was just so much going on that when 2020 came, before I even know it was a pandemic, my wife was pregnant and we was due to have our seventh child in May of that year. So I was sitting her down at the beginning of the year and I was like, yo, this last course, like we really got to get to it. I know you've been pushing back and forth on it, but like we really got to dial this thing in, because when you had this baby, like one thing that I never experienced, and this might go back to like how I feel my own trauma with my dad. I was like, every time that I had a child, I had to go right back to work. You get what I'm saying? I was like, I don't want that this time. I'm not young anymore. Like I'm not younger. You feel what I'm saying? But I want to be able to enjoy this time my child. I want to be able to take like 2-3 months off and just, you know what I'm saying, and just enjoy being a dad. You get what I'm saying? For multiple reasons.
It's wild how that your childhood has such a profound effect on you as an adult, as a man. Like, I don't know that I'll ever have kids, right? I'm not pressed on kids. And I got a lot of friends who have kids. There's a lot of kids in my family.
You could be like the uncle that, right? You know what I'm saying?
Like, the fly uncle, I'm fine with that. Yeah. But I remember watching my parents argue about money.
Yep.
And that stuck to my ribs.
Yeah.
And for me, I think I have like this thing in my mind where I don't think I have enough. Like, it's like if I have a kid, like the number keeps moving. Like, what is enough?
And I tell people all the time, like, with having so many kids and having so many different personalities, kids don't care about money. Like, they don't care. They like, if you put a stack $10,000 and you put some candy or a toy, they gonna choose the candy or the toy, because they don't identify what money is until they understand like what money do. Kids spell love, T-I-M-E. They just want your time, and then they want you to be happy. So like for me, I couldn't give all of my time to my kids. So like in a sense, like a part of me becoming successful and me sacrificing long hours to work is so my kids don't have to experience none of the stuff that I went through in life. But then also I feel like I'm missing out on moments, like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm my dad in a sense.
Right.
So for me, like transitioning and making that transition, it was super personal. So I wasn't caring what nobody was thinking, oh yeah, this, that, and the third. Bro, I need to be there for my kids. They need to have a dad. And granted, like we would do something any Sunday where I'll let them pick where they want to go. It's your turn to pick what we doing this Sunday. But bro, like I work so hard, my kids get one day. Like, it's just not fair. And I was like, yo, I gotta figure this out, because before they get too old, before it get too late, and life go by too fast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like when I go, like I heard this quote and it stuck with me. Like when you leave, the only thing that your kids is really gonna have left is pictures. Make sure that you in them. So like the pictures when I'm young with them, the pictures when they get older, I gotta make sure that I'm in those pictures, because when I go, that's the only memories that they gonna be able to physically, mentally, you know what I mean, hold on to. So make sure that you in them. So for me, going into 2020 was like super personal for me, as far as like making sure that I was there for my kid. On top of that, in 2019 was so interesting because that 2019, while they was complaining about the lifestyle that they thought I was living and all the catty shit was going on, like one of the things, bro, I sacrificed that whole year to be able to open them businesses. There was no designer, it was no foreign cars, it was no Rolex watches. It was me and my family in a 2-bedroom apartment. And I went that whole year just sacrificing. I literally bagged up all my sneakers, all my Gucci, my Louis Vuitton. I bagged them all up. I put them in the basement. I said, I ain't buying no designer. I'm not doing no designer all 2019. I went to Walmart. I got me a $14 pair of Walmart sneakers. I went through the whole 2019. In 2019 alone, I went to 20 countries.
Wow.
My sneakers, bro, them $14 sneakers, $21 sneakers, them sneakers went to more countries than some people went in their whole life. Because that's how, like, I was like, yo, 2019 gonna be my millionaire year, bro.
That's a serious point.
For sure, bro.
But that is crazy to even hear as a soundbite.
Yeah, bro.
My sneakers been in more countries.
I'm telling you.
Nah, that's insane though, seriously. So I can tell you, man, the vast majority of people don't have the ability to put their ego aside, their pride to the side.
Yeah.
To really take a step back in order to slingshot forward. I love that. So, 2020, this is what's happening. But the businesses are still operating, or have you shut down yet because of the pandemic?
Business, so we ain't get to the pandemic yet. Prior to, my wife just so happened to listen.
Okay.
She pregnant, stomach out here, about to pop. It's like March.
And it's your first child coming into the world?
It's my 7th. So I'm already.
Yeah, how much?
7th. Yeah, I got a Brady Bunch, Huxtables, yeah. Yeah, we loaded. Yeah, so I got a big family. I got a lot of love.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just told you, I can't process. If somebody told me tomorrow I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm still at the point where I'd be like, what?
It's fight or flight.
7?
Everything in you, bro, it's the same thing, bro. How you treat your family is how you treat your business.
Facts.
How successful I am is based on, like, how I treat my business.
7 kids.
That's it, bro. Yeah.
How's your oldest?
My oldest, he 15.
Youngest?
3.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
No, seriously, that honestly is amazing.
Yep.
And I can tell you're a good father.
Oh, that's one of my biggest accomplishments.
100%.
You know what I mean? So we about to have the 7th child. It's March. She due mid-May. We don't know about the pandemic yet. We record the course.
Okay.
And
what is the course on at this time?
It's on lashes. So we took the class that we was doing and we turned it into a digital format that they could learn, so we could be able to sell it and not be stuck to these in-person classes.
Okay.
Which was good because we didn't know the pandemic was coming, but that would have shut the whole thing down. So we create the course. We go do a webinar for the course. The first webinar we do, we make $30,000. My wife never did a webinar a day in her life. She don't like social media. She don't like doing Instagram lives. She's very reserved, soft life, just like chilling.
I can 100% relate to that, by the way.
And guess what? She show up and it's like 300 and something hundred people there. I'm scared for her because I'm like, I don't even got 300 and something people showing up. And she blow it out the water, man. And we made $30,000. And of course, at the end, I'm like, see, I told you. You know what I'm saying? But this was validation that my process worked.
Wow.
And I got to test it on somebody that, like, you know what I'm saying, that was pretty much in-house. And, you know, we ran that play. We did about $200,000 in like 3 months.
First off, a couple of things, right? So let's I don't even know where to start, right? So we already know the specs in the car. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure our viewers are going to correct me, but I think I'm right. I think we're working with a 657 horsepower car, 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. And all the detail specs, go to Lamborghini.com, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But take us through what you did to differentiate this car from every other Urus S that's on the planet right now.
All right, so my first, like, my dream was really to have I had a white pearlescent Lambo, red interior. All my cars are white with red interior.
Okay.
I wanted this to mirror it. I came outside and dude was like, nice car. Is that a Porsche?
Okay.
Broke my heart. I was like, maybe this is not talking how it need to be talking.
At this point, right, and I'm really digging in here for our folks that want to get into the business or package whatever they want to in a webinar space, and you're teaching people how to do that, correct? That is something that you teach.
Yep.
So without giving away all your secrets, right? Because you need to, if you want good information, you need to pay for it. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
That being said, though, you got to invest in yourself. You invested 10 grand in order to get the last day's worth of information, so that's a big deal.
Yeah.
However, that being said, from an expense standpoint, because I always like to take a look at that, because a lot of people might say, oh, I make $1 million, but if 90% of that is expenses, you make $100,000.
Yep.
So when you're running a webinar, is there some crazy expenses that you're laying out, or you're literally going live on a webinar and people are paying to have access to that?
Bro, we was on Zoom.
That is insane.
Like, we had a $59 a month Zoom account a month, and we'd get the people on there, they'd register, and then at the end, we just had an offer, and it was only $500. So they can come for free. We break down the strategy, and then we give them an invitation to, buy access to the full thing. And it was only $500. So, like, literally, we'd go on, we'd sell 40, 50 of them at a time, like every Sunday religiously. So, like, that's all it was. I wish I could say that it was more complicated. Of course, there's some stuff in the back end that you gotta, that you gotta do. But I will tell you this, like, webinars is the best opportunity for you to get in one-to-many, for you to get in front of a large or intimate group of people and be able to, sell your offer and do it at scale. And when I look at the models of, like, all of the big brands, like, look at what Tesla did. They had an example of a truck, and he pre-sold it and made millions of dollars. We haven't seen a Cybertruck yet. You get what I'm saying? Apple run this play every single year. iPhone 15 coming out at the time of this recording. They're going to pre-sell it, and then guess what? They're going to get everybody to buy it. They're going to make money before the product is even made. 2018 and before, 80% of Apple's revenue come from the live webinar / live event that they do in September. And they pre-sell it.
Pre-sell all those phones.
After 2018, 60% of their revenue. We talking about $1 billion company.
Right.
More than half of their revenue come from a live event or a webinar.
Insane. Okay. So that was the first webinar. Lashes. And you said you did 200,000 in
about 3.5 months.
In about 3.5 months.
Yep.
And then running that same play, you crossed $1 million. How quickly?
So we put that on autopilot. So we went from live to evergreen. So my wife is still making money to this day from the work that we put in 2020. Like, we just took the recording, we put it on evergreen, and we just go market to it. Now,
what is evergreen?
Evergreen is where they can go watch it at any time.
Okay.
So it went from a live, because the way lives work is I can answer questions. Now we just went to evergreen model. So we took that live recording and then turned it to something that they could watch over and over and over again. It's on Netflix now. It ain't pay-per-view.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? So we did that model. She's still eating off of that. So set her up pretty much for, an opportunity to just have a soft life. You know what I mean? So what happened was, when we got to May, my birthday is in May, and one of the strategies that I learned was to monetize your birthday, because it's going to be the one time all year where people are going to be excited, and it's all this exciting around, being your birthday. So I did a campaign for one of my friends in April, and I was telling him, like, bro, do this ebook, do this ebook, do this ebook. He's like, nah, I don't want to do the ebook. We eating off the webinar. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, like, like, cause my wife, she had other like products that was like an ebook where she was making like $700 to $1,000 a day. And
700 to $1,000 a day.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Like just laying at home, rubbing oil on her belly, like, and I was still at the tattoo shop at this time. So I'm coming home, like I'm spending 10 hours and I'm making 500 to 1,000.
She's doing nothing.
My 500 to 1,000 is linked over, and you know what I'm saying? Her 500 to 700 to 1,000, like it was consistent too. Like, what you do today? Nothing, just, you know what I mean? Got kicked on this side, kicked on this side. So I'm like, yo, this is, so I'm having all these revelations of, like, dang, this is really working. And what happened was, I was gearing up for my birthday. I helped my friend with his birthday ebook. He had a sale, but it's in April, so the pandemic, we live in effect now. And he like, man, like, my course that I usually do for my webinar, like, bro, like, my sale ain't go good. I'm about to do the ebook. So I put the ebook together. He gonna make $23,000 in one weekend. I'm like, all right, we just did $30,000 last week off of this. She's doing about $700 to $1,000 a day. I just put this thing together in about 2-3 hours.
That's crazy.
And he just made $23,000 on pre-order just in a weekend. Oh man, no, let me hurry up and start getting my birthday joint together. So now I'm like, I gotta get my product together. You get what I'm saying? So I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, and one of the books that I put together for him was on social media. So it was on like the stuff that I do. So I was like, damn, I can't come out with a social media book and it's gonna be a lot of the same information. So I really sat back and it was like 4 a.m. I remember. I'm sitting there, I woke up, I sit up and I'm like,
just thinking.
I'm like, why the hell I'm up right now? And it hit me. Everybody kept asking me, how did I open up all of these businesses? And I was like, yo, I had a $10,000 Discover card because I was keeping my money so I could use the credit. And I was like, I'm just gonna show people how to repair their own credit. I go online, I Google, it's nothing that's showing people the process, only credit repair agencies. I was like, that's it. And literally I just got to work, I started putting it together so I could get it ready for my birthday. I had like 2 weeks to get it together. So I put everything together in like 6 days and I released it on my birthday, monetized my birthday.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Because this begs to be asked. You're releasing this on social media.
Yep.
How big is your following at that time?
At my following, it's about 64,000 followers.
Okay.
But granted.
So I have to ask.
Yeah.
How, because somebody could be listening to this like, oh, I want to do that, and I got 100 followers. That's not going to have the same outcome. So what were you doing to get your followership up? And was this all organic?
So you got to remember, like, nobody know me for teaching you how to fix your own credit. I have no audience of this whatsoever.
Okay.
Nobody knows I'm doing this stuff on the back end. I'm just the tattoo guy.
The tattoo guy, got it.
You get what I'm saying?
So they're following you from a tattoo standpoint.
They following me because,
okay.
I'm traveling the world, I'm getting awards, I'm doing crazy ink. Like, that's what they following me for.
Okay.
They have no idea that I'm about to bust out with this, you know what I mean, with this thing. And then also my wife, she started with 300 followers. Like, you know what I mean? It was just the right marketing. Right, the right messaging, like, you know what I mean, getting people there. And like her following grew from 300 to about 15,000 in like 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
So we was monetizing other channels, like it's something called shout out pages. So a shout out page is something that's a page that already has following. They probably got 200,000-300,000. You could pay for basically a sponsor page, a sponsor post on a page.
Okay.
It might be 100, it might be 50. So what we was doing, we was leveraging all of the shout out pages. So we spent like $300 to market that first webinar. That shit made us $30,000. So you gotta think about that type of return. So we was like, shoot, we just gonna do it again. But also it came with the following. So that's how we was monetizing some of that stuff.
So you're getting ready for your birthday. That's coming up.
Yep.
We got that done. We know what the course is that we're launching.
I was like, man, it's gonna be crazy. So we launch it. I put out the content, and literally at my birthday weekend, we do just under like 20,000. So I'm like, all right, bet. We ended that month around 50,000. And then in the next month, we hit $100,000. And I was like, oh, it ain't no going back. We in a pandemic. I literally, and I remember I'm sending my grandma that screenshot. She like, what's that? I'm like, Grandma, like, this my sales for the month. She like, selling what? Like, she couldn't believe, she couldn't believe what I was selling. Like, it took her like a good, I'll say 9 months to really like process. Like, she asked me now, like, yeah, you going online? But from that point, like, once I saw the 100,000, I was like, all right, can I duplicate this?
Yeah.
So I did that, like, it was 100,000, 115, 130. It just kept going up. And I was like, man, like, you almost get anxiety because where you come from, you don't get the experience that fast. But again, when it go back to, like, you know, the universe, God saying, like, yo, you need to move. I got something better for you. I got, like, I'm gonna put you in a position that's going, like, you ain't gonna even be able to fathom what you know what I'm saying, what I got for you. But you gotta be willing to get this up. So as I'm sitting there and, you know, this tattoo thing been my baby for a long time. Like, it's been all I know. It's provided for my family, you know what I'm saying? It helped me make a living for so long. It's like, how do you just give that up? So in June, I was like once my daughter come, I don't think I'm gonna go back. And so we had my daughter. I really just focused and just chilled on, you know what I mean, just focusing on her while I was still working. And I made a decision to not go back. I made a decision to just go straight from the brick and mortar businesses that I have, since everything was closed down, to go straight to the internet. So I went from brick and mortar to click and order. And just
like that.
Just like that. I just made the decision. But again, like, I felt like I was at the point where it wasn't really no going back. I felt like those businesses couldn't serve me anymore. With the people that was in it, like the environment, I just felt like if I went back to it, then you know, I was just gonna be more stressed. And then I just had a lot of stress that I was able to let go. Like, it was just like, I felt like it was a lot of weight on my shoulders, stuff that I didn't want to do. I didn't have the love for the business no more. Like, I still love the people, the clients, and all of that. So that part was hard to let go. But yeah, man, brick and mortar to click and order.
So we're clearly not in a pandemic anymore, right?
Yeah.
Have you made, I would imagine you made the transition where you're not on Zoom necessarily, but you have these courses packaged for sale in a certain way. How many courses do you have now?
Man, we got a catalog. It's like, you know, Jay-Z got In My Lifetime, Blueprint 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's like that right now. So we definitely like over 10 courses, because what we was doing, like, essentially was, as I was putting these products out, clients would ask me for more. Like, hey, do you got something on this? And I would take those things. I tell people all the time, when people ask you how, don't look at it like a question. That question mark is a $. Because you'll go and you'll tell your friend, they be like, yeah, man, what's your advice? How you do this? And you'll go tell them for free. They better put an invoice behind that. Even if they not gonna pay the invoice, just start getting in a mindset that you have a skill set, you have knowledge, and you have something that could be packaged and monetized. And I think a lot of us are walking around with gifts, purpose, and talent that could be monetized that we don't necessarily realize. And my grandma, she like real into the Bible. So she would, like, you know what I mean, be heavy on church. And one of the things that, like, she would always talk about, you know what I mean, she was always talk about different scriptures. And one thing that I always remember, like, yo, a lot of these scriptures, they talk about money. They talk about being a good steward of your money. They talk about living in abundance. Like, they talk about all these things. And then, like, when I actually looked it up, it's 2,300 scriptures about money in the Bible. Almost 3 times as much as it is about faith. So it's like, I used to listen to a lot of Jim Rome, and Jim Rome would say, you know what I'm saying, it's several places that you could look in the Bible if there's something wrong with your money. So, like, I always, like, held on to those type of things. And when I started to acquire this online money, right, I always looked at the things that people ask me how as a position of, okay, that's my next product. That's my next, you know, thing that I'm gonna put out, because it go hand with hand, and they not asking for no reason.
Quick questions. First one. how do you differentiate yourself from folks that are out there that are selling courses?
Yeah.
And I mean, I personally am of the opinion that there's a lot of people selling courses that are talking about absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And they're not teaching anybody how to become successful at anything. As a matter of fact, they've become masters at speaking about nothing.
Yeah.
And making it sound like something. And I'm very, very, very much against that.
Yeah.
So what makes you different, and how do you truly set yourself apart from the crowd in that respect?
So
I mean, what are you doing?
I'll give you two versions of it. I'll give you one, a framework on how I teach my students to how to identify how to not have imposter syndrome and all of that stuff. So I'll give you that. My personal framework